Hey, what's up? So I started this idea a while back about reporting my ridiculous incidents in customer experience or whatever you want to call it. And so I think I should do more of these because they're almost so ridiculous you just can't believe they're real. But that's why I'm so experienced at this. Unfortunately, I keep all kinds of notes. Um, so this latest story is a doozy. It's pretty good. So here we go. Right. Um, I ordered a mattress, a nice brand new California King mattress, and a adjustable frame thingy that like where it raises the feet and the head and everything. And I ordered that on January 4th. And on January 4th, the mattress arrived, which was awesome. But my sales guy told me, yeah, the adjustable frame is not going to be there for 2 weeks, which of course I didn't like that. So I kind of grumbled to him and I said, man, this is like not really that acceptable. But if it is what it is and the inventory is limited or whatever, I understand. At least I get the bed tonight. I can sleep on it. And then the frame shows up when it shows up. So he said, yep, they should get a hold of you on right around the 18th or 19th of January, and you'll be good to go. They'll tell you a delivery window. I said, okay, fine. Well, on the 19th, I still hadn't heard anything from any delivery people saying, hey, it's going to be tomorrow between 6 and 10, or, just nobody. Just nobody's contacting me to say anything about this delivery. So I'm like, is this sucker coming or what? So I call the customer service number, and the customer service number for this company, it says, okay, press 1 for customer care team. And I'm like, okay, well, that's what I need. I'm a customer and I need care for this issue. So boop, hit 1. The next option after that, or set of options, it says press 1 if it was an in-store purchase, press 2 if it was online or whatever. So of course mine was in-store. So I'm like, doop, hit 1. And I get a recording that says, and I'm quoting here, we cannot help you if your item was purchased in a store. And I'm like, so I'm thinking like at this point, maybe I just made the wrong, maybe I made a mistake. I hit the wrong button or something. So I cycle back, press 1 for customer care, press 1 for in-store, and it gives me the same recording. And then it goes on to say, quote, we do not have access to orders placed in our retail stores. You have to call the store. And I'm like, what the hell? Like what? Okay. So I hang up with that. I get my receipt out. I find, the guy on there, Dale, and I call him at the store and I say, "Hey Dale, here's my order number. Um, where's my frame? It's not showing up." And he's like, "Oh gee, I don't know." I was like, "Can you tell me?" He's like, yeah, here's the number for customer service. Why don't you just call them?" I'm like, "Okay, hold on, Dale. Just so you know, I've already talked to customer care or tried to talk to customer care. Couldn't get a human being." And they basically directed me through their automated recording to call the store, which is you. So that doesn't help. So I need your help. Can you help me? And he's like, all right, let me just check the system. He's like, oh, well, your delivery was canceled. And I'm like, was anybody going to tell me that? Like, it's like a big secret or something? And he's like, well, I didn't know either. And I'm like, okay, Dale, uh, no one called me, and I would never say this publicly, I guess, except for in this video, but I've got pretty good attention to detail. I said, but I don't think most people would keep track of dates and what somebody said specifically and follow up, but I did. And now you're telling me that the order was canceled. What are we supposed to do? He's like, well, I don't really know. I was like, oh my God. All right. So I hang up with Dale. I call customers care again, but this time I'm like, okay, I'm going to be creative. So instead of pressing 1 for customer care, I press 2 for sales because I know they're going to give me a human there because they want to sell me stuff, right? Sure enough, within seconds, I get a sales rep. And I go, hey, sorry to waste your time. I actually don't want to talk to you, but you're the only human I can get. So now I just need you to transfer me to customer care. And she does. And I end up speaking to a guy named Anthony with customer care. I tell him everything that's going on. And I say, hey, 2 things. I said, 1, I need the frame that I paid for because you guys have my money. I need my frame. 2, I want to know what you're going to do as far as customer service aspect to, 1, compensate me for the inconvenience, but more importantly, to give me some sense that you're going to take a look at your procedures here so that other people don't get hosed over in the future. And he's like, oh, definitely. He goes, well, first of all, we're going to set you a delivery date for January 28th, which is another 9 days, right? Because this is the 19th we're talking. So it's another 9 days after I've already waited 2 weeks. But whatever. He's like, definitely you're going to get that. He goes, and by the way, I'm going to make sure that either I or a district manager calls you within 24 to 48 hours. I'm like, okay, Anthony, sounds good. Naturally, I still have not heard from any district manager. But at 47 hours, I do hear from Anthony. And it's like 9 o'clock at night or 8:30 at night. And he calls me and I said, Anthony, okay, first of all, I appreciate that you called me back like you said you would, number one. Number two, no district manager called me. So put that one on in your notes or whatever and do something about it. But number three, I said, this is not a reasonable hour. I said, I've got family over. We're doing a game night. We're having dinner. I was like, and it's like almost 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, can you call me tomorrow afternoon or in the morning or whatever, just something during reasonable hours? He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. Still haven't heard from Anthony. Don't know what he's doing. But he says I have a delivery date set for January 28th. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put this customer service nonsense on hold for the time being. And I will wait for the bed to show up, or excuse me, the frame. And then once I have the frame and I actually am sleeping on what I paid for, then I'll re-engage about the customer service. You guessed it. January 28th comes around. And they show up. Delivery guys show up. Yep, between 6 and 10. They showed up like at 9 something at night. That's fine. But it's the wrong bed. And it's only half of the bed. Or, frame. So I have a California King bed. It's like huge. And they brought me something that's like this big. And I was like, guys, what am I supposed to do here? And right after they cut the box open, the delivery guys realized it was not the right bed. And it wasn't their fault. I understand it. They're just delivering what they're told to deliver. So they're like, hey, we're so sorry. We'll just take this away. I'm like, yeah, thanks. So I wait 3 days because I'm just fuming. And I want to give it some air, So I'm like, okay, fine. So then I call on the 31st. By the way, between the 28th and the 31st, no one called me. No delivery people called. Dale didn't call. No district manager called. No anybody called to check on me to see how was the delivery, or even to look at the system and see that, the delivery was never made because the guys had to take it away because it's the wrong bed. So, no one followed up on all that. I'm thinking this is totally absurd. So January 31st, I call again. Press 1 for customer care. Press 2 for sales. I get Bonnie. I say, oh, excuse me. Sorry, Bonnie. I don't want to waste your time. I just need someone in customer care. Can you transfer me? She transfers me to Barbara. I wait for 7 minutes. Then I start talking to Barbara. She has to put me on hold for 3 minutes while she looks through some notes. So it's another 3 minutes. Then I'm talking to Barbara for 10 minutes and she hangs up on me. I'm going to let that sink in. Yeah, hangs up on me mid-story. I couldn't believe it. And worse, she didn't call me back. Mind you, they verified my phone number to verify who I was at the start of the conversation. She doesn't call me back. So I call back again. This time I get John. I say, so sorry, John. Don't need to buy anything. You guys already have my money. I need customer care. He puts me on hold for 3 minutes, transfers me to Annette. I speak to Annette for 18 minutes, give her the whole story. She seems very, sympathetic or whatever. And then she's like, yeah, I'm not really sure what I can do for you at this level. I said, yeah, I figured as much. I said, that's not a ding on you. I said, you're only empowered to do so much. I said, perhaps I need a supervisor. She goes, yeah, I'll transfer you to my supervisor. Can you hold, please? I'm like, of course. So she puts me on hold for another 14 minutes. Then I get Rudy. And I talked to Rudy for 29 minutes. So at this point, I've been on the phone just in this most recent phone call, not counting the one that I got hung up on, for over an hour. And I talked to Rudy, and are you guys sitting down? Make sure you're sitting down for this next part. I'll wait, or you can pause the video because you don't want to fall over from what I tell you. Okay, you're sitting? Okay, you're comfy then. All right, cool. Yeah. Rudy says to me, after I tell him about the issues of all this stuff that's going on and getting hung up on and the wrong bed and nobody calling about the delivery and sales guy not knowing what's going on, the customer service thing, not having any option for a human and just giving me this endless loop of nonsense. And he says to me, and I'm quoting, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I scrambled for a pen because I did not want to forget that. And I literally wrote it down right here on this piece of paper. Quote, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. End quote. Yeah, that's not even the worst of it. If you can possibly believe that. The story's not over. So I talk to Rudy a little bit longer. I'm flabbergasted. And I start talking to him about, I said, well, look, I said, what is wrong with y'all's system? and I don't mean IT system, although it could include IT. I mean like your whole structure that allows for something like this to happen. I said, if I wasn't tenacious, if I wasn't attention to detail and following up and finding creative ways to make phone calls and loop through automated systems and following up with store managers who have no power, although the system tells me they're the ones that can fix stuff and all of that. I said, and you've got stock issues of where he's ordering beds that aren't in inventory. I said, your system is not set up properly or something's wrong there. And he says to me again, and I quote, "For someone to say we don't have a system for handling stock issues is a lie." So I say, "Hold on, Rudy, I got to stop you there. Are you calling me a liar?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not saying you specifically. I just mean, for someone to say we don't have a system for handling stock issues, that would be a lie." I'm like, "Okay, how would you characterize it, Rudy? You had a stock issue, and the system that's in place resulted in me not getting notified about a stock issue, a guy ordering a bed that didn't exist in the system, getting delivered by guys who only brought half of it and it was the wrong bed. How is that not a failure of the system?" He had no answer. So I said, "Well, Rudy, I think I've given this about as much and then some as any person can reasonably be expected to give. I really do." I said, "It's now January 31st. We're going on almost a month now of missed calls, hung up on, missed deliveries, missed inventories, incompetent sales reps, incompetent managers, passing the buck at every turn." I said, "At this point, I need to speak to someone higher than you guys. So who is that?" And he said, "Well, I can put you in touch with Sarah, who's the VP of sales, and she'll call you back within one business day." I'm like, "Okay, I can do with that. So by tomorrow." Yeah, that was on January 31st. I've still not heard from Sarah. So that one business day has been like 12 business days or like 16 calendar days or whatever it's been. Yeah, haven't heard from Sarah. So I wait about a week, and on the 5th of February, I call corporate. I find their number on the Better Business Bureau, and there's like a customer relations number, and it's different than the customer service number I called before, but it loops me to the same stupid recording. Press 1 for customer care team. "Oh, we cannot help you if you purchase in the store," which I find that deceptive. If you got an entirely different number, so you think you're getting a new access point or entry point, and it's not. It's the same stupid recording. So I leave a voicemail. I find this other woman named Sunny, and she is the VP of Communications and Customer Experience. So I call her and leave a voicemail with my phone number, just very kind and professional and short, saying, "Please call me back. I have an issue that's directly in your lane." Of course, I never hear from her. So I wait another week. And on the 12th of February, I call her again. I get no answers. So this time I send an email to her, and I blind CC every single person in that company's chain of command. Everybody. I CC the president. I CC the CEO. I CC the COO. I CC the vice president of the region. I CC the vice president of customer something or other. Everybody that looks like they could even be remotely, tangentially tied into this thing. Like, I don't think I CC'd the financial guy because he's an internal numbers guy. Everybody else, I CC'd. Within under 4 hours, I get a call from a district sales director, which is lower level than I had hoped to. But this guy, Grant, was extremely proactive and actually seemed like he cared. So he listens to my whole spiel and says, "I'm going to get a hold of you by 2 p.m. tomorrow after I make some phone calls and try to figure out what's going on, and you'll hear from me." And don't you know, he called me at 12:26. So he called me early. Long story long, he basically says, "I've got a couple of seats." He said, "First of all, I looked into everything. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to bring all of your issues up are completely valid. I'm going to bring those up at our next staff meeting on Friday. But in terms of helping you feel better about this all, how about we send you an adjustable frame that's a little bit less capable than the one you ordered, which was about a $4,000 frame. This one's an $1,800 frame." I said, "Well, dang, that's a lot cheaper." I said, what capabilities am I losing?" He said, "Well, it does the same lifting of the head and foot, but it doesn't have like the lumbar support, little extra feature. It doesn't have USB ports." I'm like, "I don't care about either of those things." He said, "It doesn't have a massage feature." And by the way, massage feature, it wasn't like any kind of actual massage mechanisms. It was a stupid, like, it just vibrates like those old school motel beds where you stick a quarter in and it just kind of shakes for 30 seconds or whatever. So I don't care about that either. I always thought that was awkward when I tried it in the store anyway. But he's going to send me this $1,800 bed with a $100 delivery charge, and he's going to waive all of it. So I don't have to pay for the frame, and I don't have to pay for the delivery, and I'm supposed to be getting it in about 2 hours. So there'll be a follow-up video if that thing doesn't show up. And that's the story. That is my latest incident in customer experience, or ICE, story. And I'd be very interested to hear any crazy customer service stories that you have about a company that didn't do what they said they're going to do. And you noticed I didn't name the company here because I don't want to, explicitly blast them by name, but just in terms of giving an example of a company that will say anything that they have to get your money, but once they have your money, they don't want to deliver, right? And I told them that in some of these phone calls. I said, hey, you guys have had my money for over a month. I said, so why am I giving you an interest-free loan while you fumble around with my merchandise? I'm like, you need to refund my money and then figure out all this other stuff, which they finally did. And I said, on your website, I said, and I'm quoting from your website, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Guaranteed is what it says. I'm like, words mean things, guys. I'm a Marine. Integrity is everything. If you're going to say something, you need to stand behind it. So, and I asked him, I said, hey, take your Grant, the deputy director or director of the district hat off for a second, and be Grant, the guy, the consumer who buys something from Amazon or any other company out there. I said, if they don't deliver, but they say your satisfaction guaranteed, how do you feel? Do you feel hoodwinked? Bamboozled? So he's like, well, yeah, I do. I totally get your point. I said, well, there you go. I was like, you guys need to fix that. Or take that phrase off your website and say your satisfaction is likely or possible. Don't say it's guaranteed unless you mean guaranteed. What is guaranteed? Show it. Prove it. So anyway, I'd be interested to hear what any of y'all's stories are. I've never done this before in terms of like really getting a YouTube thing going, but I guess you can put some comments in the feed here, or upload a clip. And also, I'd like to know. I'd like for you to, I guess, subscribe and or like this video, and we'll see if we can build some momentum here, and maybe we can change things, right? Maybe it starts at the grassroots. Like, I'll end on this note. I refuse to believe that this is the best we've got as humans in the way we treat each other. I refuse to believe it. I genuinely just don't believe that we live in a world where, or have to live in a world where, I as a business only win when you lose. I as a business only win when I can give as little as possible to you while getting as much as possible from you. I just don't believe that's the best that we've got. So if you believe that too, join me and let's see if we can start something. I've got many more of these stories, and I'm sure there'll be many more to come. And I'd like to hear yours. All right. See you guys.